Back up in the house again, sons of Jacob, with some of that Mai Tai music, some of that Pina Colada South Pacific flow. You know how we do it. I'm down with the IQAhmath, CR Savage, and I go by the name of the business. Check it. Yo. My mind state is elevated, meditate on the things created, and now I move with the smoothness of the heavenly movements. Kick this music so my people can move to the rhythm. My lyricism will hit them with the words of wisdom. So many questions, my mission is to give you the business. Spiritual fitness is found in the biblical witness. Left in a book on a page, forever we gaze, looking for answers in the maze since the days. Foul ways we pick up chasing the paper that's worthless. Looking the surface is these crackers satanical purpose. Who do you follow and what you believe? Cause I breathe a prophet's breath from the scriptures I read. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I love my people for show. They get to tripping and I'm laying them down on the floor. Israel, let's go. We giving death blow. Roll to the hood, sipping XO with a blessed flow. Yes.
This melody struck my mind, my mind. In the wind, the flows of good vibes. Oh, I feel lost in the air.
Brothers and sisters, go get some of this Israelite loving, girl. She said I be super sentences, it's not the innocence, but my intentions be moving with 3 senses, just to hear, to smell it, to leave. Pay attention, never to touch, to feel it, to breathe. Words of nutrition, the fact remains. See yours, I came to keep saying, to beat rain, to be ready for action when my dogs change. I love you, so I'm very pain. Ain't no crime in me observing the beauty in the stars and the trees. So tell me the disease I carry for birth, watching your degrees. 36, 24, 36, man, please. My situation be unique. I got a balance being a feather to you and in the stone of these streets. Many out there want me to play the role of cold cheese, so I lay calm like a low breeze. Big cold words they call they heart to freeze, putting their mind at ease from any type of deceit. Yeah.
This melody struck my mind, my mind. In the wind, the flows of good vibes. Oh, I feel lost in the air.
Yo, let's begin with this. Relentless attacks on those that stay repentless. It's the kid in the business, out to keep Satan winless. I paid my dues and finished my sentence. So what's with all the resentment? Your whole sense of reality's bent. In 10 years of the time I spent getting right and change alive, and praising the Most High, and strive to resurrect the lost tribe. And stand at ease, cause I'm hard to please. Brothers exhale the breeze out the catching Z's, but they're like a parasitic demon that sucks. I flatten you out like a tummy tuck, like Amalek and such. You wanna be my clone? Let the truth be shown, how you all get blown, and then I piss in your tombstone. Born alone, die alone. I'm a saint coming for the throne, and chicken with the scripts, and you can send her home.
This melody struck my mind, my mind. In the wind, the flows of good vibes. Oh, I feel lost in the air. Riding with me, there's love's in the air. I love you, you love me, you say.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Ahmath IQAhmath. First name IQ is all the same. You've reached another episode. Don't Shoot the Messenger, DSTM. This is where we deal with matters of current events, prophecies, judgments, scripturally based information that we connect with worldly events. And, the Spirit came to me this morning and said, you know what? Give some inspiration today. You know, I hear from a lot of Israel, and it's trying times for a lot of people right now, you know. And I said, well, you know, let's do a little inspiration today because you know DSTM always be looked at as doom and gloom. You know, it's too much to handle. Brother always going into something bad. Hence the name. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm delivering the message. I'm giving you the information that you're going to necessarily need. We need to know and understand in these days and times. But a lot of times our people, even in the truth, want to be ostriches and, you know, stick their heads in the sand, and they only want to pop it out when there's some tea getting spilled, some drama between some camps, and you only want to hear about the debates and the street teaching, but you don't want to lock in on the things that's going to be necessary pertaining to your salvation. All those other things outside of the camp drama and whatever goes on in our community, you know, I'm not one to air dirty laundry out and all of that. We got enough Jerry Springers online right now. But the information that comes from the street teaching, the debates, that's good. You're supposed to arm up. You're supposed to make sure that you've got your information together, your scriptural breakdowns, and the defense of the gospel is solidified with you. That's all cool. But you can't forget about the balance of things when it comes down to understanding and knowing things as it pertains to our salvation, right? And the things we need to be looking for. You understand what I'm saying? You know, because that's the things that we were advised to, even by Hamashiach Yahushua, the anointed Savior, who the world calls ignorantly. Jesus Christ told us that we need to be watching for things. We need to be praying in these days and times, right? Let me share my screen and let's look at a couple of scriptures, man. Salute to the families in the house, man. My sister Rosemarie, Kohath, Laquab, Brother Hoshiah, Cabraziel. Is that it? Pardon me if I said your name wrong, brother. Appreciate the compliment on the music. Cabrazal, Ashar, Elder Rasha, Aladad. Salute to y'all coming in. I know that the notifications are probably going out slow. Myself, I'm not getting notified of when we're going, when the channel is live anymore. I don't know what's going on. YouTube doing whatever they do. I'll get the notification that upcoming live is happening. You know, they always send out the preview notification. It's usually 30 minutes before we start. And then when you start, there's supposed to be another notification that we're live. I don't get the lives no more. So a lot of times people might get the notification, oh, MOTC is going live in 30 minutes. You might get that. And then you swipe it, you forget because you got 3 other YouTube channels that's telling you the same thing or whatever. And you may forget and say, oh, shoot, I forgot brothers went live, because you're not getting the next notification that says, hey, they are live right now. I'm not getting that one. If y'all are getting them, all praise to the Most High. But I know that there's at least if I'm not getting it and I'm controlling the channel, like that's wild. But you know, it's just another F for the shadow band, and we're talking about this for a long time. I don't want to cry for spilled milk. It is what it is. Whoever the word goes out to, the Most High intends on hearing this is supposed to go down. You dig what I'm saying? So that's how it is. But let me share this real quick and then we'll get to it, right? So Mark 13:33 says, take ye heed, watch and pray. But keywords, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. So like I was saying, you know, hence the name of DSTM, don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, you tune in on this. You know, sometimes people get battle fatigue and they're like, I can't deal with another DSTM. I got so much going on in my life, in my head. I'm off. You know, I'm gonna sit this one out. I'll come back later, or that's all cool. But guess what, man? The scriptures say, "Be not weary in well doing." And I know sometimes it can be overwhelming. Me myself, I get burnt out. I'm looking at stuff, hearing stuff is getting sent to me. It'd be overwhelming. I get it. I get it. So the Most High said, "Well, make sure Israel has a balance, and there is inspiration within the nation, within those who tune in and." You know, like to share the information. Many of us are like-minded. We're all looking at, particular things as it pertains to prophecy. We're all watching and praying. This is why we have this community of brothers and sisters on this end over here on this channel, because we all are interested and our spirits are locked in on the same thing. There's others who are like, hey, I can only handle so much. If that's your issue, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Because let me just preface this before we begin. Jeremiah 28, and let's read 8 and 9, right? We should know this. The prophets that have been before me and before the of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So the pedigree of a prophet, the things that the Spirit of the Lord sends to the prophets, is things of this nature. It's not always good news. It's not always tap dancing and showing your teeth and partying and turning up. It's not always the case. We're going to have those times. That's why the Most High set aside holy days, feast days, convocations for us to release the stresses and the problems and the issues. And, we can leave off of all of those things in those moments to celebrate the Lord and his holy days, i.e. the Feast of Dedication coming up next week. 8 days, the Lord said, leave all your worries behind, as the old saying goes, and enjoy each other's company. If you have a body or, somebody you can congregate with, if not, if it's just your family, do so. If it's just you, stay in the Spirit of the Lord. And he said, look, man, all I know is this week was a glorious week for my people. I'm supposed to be in mirth and in gladness. I'm not supposed to be in depressive states. I'm not supposed to be, kicking myself in the butt and pouting and whining and angry. No, this week, hey, take it easy. We're enjoying ourselves this week. You dig what I'm saying? This is why the Lord said, even on the 7th day, he said, 6 days, you got to labor, you're going to go through hell. But the 7th day, I'm going to always give you a chance to rest. I'm going to always be able to, give you opportunity to recenter, refocus, reconvene, in the spirit of truth, recharge up, and then you go back to war again. But if you're looking for that old self-esteem, pick me up, feel good that you left the church from and coming into the truth, and you're thinking it's going to be the same, you can't be looking for feel goods. Not in this time, not in this age, not in the spirit of the prophecy that we're in right now. It's not a lot of good news. Unfortunately, I can't bring that to you. So we got to grin and bear it, because that's what the prophets was doing back in the day. You read in Jeremiah 8, man, when Jeremiah was telling the husbands and the wives, man, quit worshiping Semiramis and the Queen of Heaven, and the Lord's going to keep bringing judgment and on us and all of that. And the husbands were co-opted and what do you call that word? I forgot the word. It begins with a C. But, the wives were basically the husbands were turning a blind eye to the idolatrous ways of their wives, and they was being complicit. That's the word. Being complicit about the situation, man. The Most High told them, man, the Most High is going to get you. If you're going to do right, do right. I believe it's Jeremiah 80:44, around that area. But anyway, the wife said, Jeremiah, we ain't doing that. We're going to go back and we're going to, bake our cakes to the Queen of Heaven and the whole nine. Because they didn't want to hear about the judgments that Jeremiah was bringing forth. Matter of fact, we're going to go there in a minute, just to get it clear. Jeremiah 8 and 9. The prophets that have been before me and before the old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war. See, the prophets of old were committing acts of sedition. Wasn't going along with the program, wasn't going along with the faces of the governmental captivities that they were in. If they was in those captivities, they was always prophesying about how to get out, go against the grain, get back to fearing the Lord and keeping the commandments. Sometimes it was prophesied, prophecies, for instance, like Daniel prophesying about other kingdoms going up against each other. The Syrian, the Babylonians and the Persians and the Medes. The Persians and the Medes. The Greeks going up against the Persians and the Medes. The conquering of kingdoms. The hierarchy of nations when it comes down to who's ruling the world. All these things. Speaking against countries, kingdoms of war, evil, pestilence, things that's coming down the pipeline. Yahweh said, watch and pray. This is why you see the so-called white man putting out all of these particular distractionary things. To turn your eye to the left, to the right. Oh, let me get caught up. Oh, P. Diddy over here, Jay-Z over there. Oh, I'm talking about the drones over here. Oh, that's not enough. Oh, guess what? We got football coming up. You know, it's constantly getting things thrown at you. If that's not enough, you got 1,000,001 TikTok reels that's going to get your attention. Before you know, you're flipping and YouTube shorts and everything else, and you're watching all the goofy stuff, and you're constantly flipping. 2 hours and pass by. That ain't it. Oh, well, you got your Instagram feeds, you got your damn Facebook. They know. How do we keep their minds preoccupied? Give them everything that's going to make sure that their minds stay off of real issues. This is why the Lord said, I got to send prophets out there to try to reel them back in and put them into a state of awareness, i.e. woke. But now that's been hijacked through hashtags and BLM and everything else. I mean, nothing is sacred anymore. Verse 9, the prophet which prophesied peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh truly have sent him. Now ain't the time of peace. You ain't gonna hear me talking about, guess what? Peace treaties, it's all gonna work. Everybody calm down. There's no World War III. There's no pestilence. There's no plague. There's no famine. Nothing's coming down the pipeline. Everything's great. You're not gonna hear that from me at all, right? Let me see if it's Jeremiah 8. It's not Jeremiah 8. Which one is Jeremiah? I'm glad I went there because I didn't want to tell y'all the wrong one. Jeremiah 44:18. I knew there was an 8 in there. I'm gonna start at 8 real quick. We'll read down quickly. All right, so Jeremiah 44:9. Now, this is Jeremiah. He's rebuking the kings and the people of Judah. We're in captivity under Babylon. He's trying to tell them where we went wrong at, right? And trying to get them to come back to the laws and the statutes, trying to correct them and have them understand and know where they went wrong and why we're in the position that we're in. And watch their response. When he's telling them all the bad things, watch their response. Jeremiah 44:9. Have you forgotten the wickedness of your fathers and the wickedness of the kings of Judah and the wickedness of their wives and your own wickedness and the wickedness of your wives, which they have committed in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? They are not humbled even unto this day, neither have they feared nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes. Yet I set before you and before your fathers. Yeah, guess what? Our people is wives, husbands, and they're all out there right now committing themselves to wickedness, checking their credit card balances to make sure that they have enough so they can go buy the Christmas presents, so they can go get the tree to satisfy the kids. Some of them got the tree still in the closet because they got that fake tree in there that they're going to redecorate every damn year. They're on the street selling Mother's Day and Father's Day gifts. They're out there selling Valentine's Day gifts, out here in the street selling idols. T-shirts with their favorite, artists on there who they idolize. They want to parade around with their, all this foolishness. Going on the streets, looking for gifts that they can buy, getting ready for preparations for next week. And they won't be humble. You can tell our people all day till you blue in the face, man. Christ wasn't born on December 25th. And even if he was, the Bible never said that we're supposed to be celebrating him by offering gifts under trees and setting up. That's wrong altogether. Then you start telling them about the pagan aspects of it and the Babylonian customs and blah, blah, blah. They don't want to hear it. The dietary law, oh yeah, your Christmas hams and all that, that's abominations. We don't eat that stuff. This is the law of the Lord. They don't want to hear it. They're not humbled even unto this day, neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers. Hey, Alakabar, I think Shalak is out of town. He's out of town now, so you're probably not going to catch him. Got to get you on the rebound, fam. Got to get you on the rebound. Continuing on. I just want to make sure I address you real quick on that. But continuing on, verse 11, it says, therefore, thus saith the power, Yahweh, power of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you for evil and to cut off all Judah. You see that? Now, Jeremiah tell them, look, the Almighty Yahweh, the power of Israel, It's now set his face against us, and now here comes the evil. Remember, the prophets of old were going to prophesy of what? War, pestilence, against kingdoms, evil, the whole nine. Judah's being told you're about to get cut off. And I will take the remnant of Judah that I've set their faces to go into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and they shall all be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. They shall even be consumed by the sword and by the famine. They shall die from the least even unto the greatest, by the sword and by the famine, and they shall be an execration and an astonishment and a curse and reproach. Yeah, because you know what? Some of our people within the kingdom of Judah, some remnants, they tried to flee over into Egypt during the Babylonian captivity and thought they was going to escape. The Lord said, no, I'm going to get you over there in Egypt as well. There's no running. Sword, famine, they're all going to die as well. Reading on, for I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt as I have punished Jerusalem by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. Remember those things that the prophets of old were prophesying of, and Jeremiah told us that. So that none of the remnant of Judah which are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there shall escape or remain, that they shall return to the land of Judah, that to the which they have a desire to return to dwell there, for none shall return, but such as shall escape. Now watch this, verse 15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto the other gods. See that? Men knew. They sat back and turned a blind eye while their wives is out there being rebellious, tripping, wicked, committing all kind of abominable sacrifices, burning incense, idols in the house, the whole nine. And the man just sitting back saying, happy wife, happy life. Cool, let her do her thing. As long as she lets me watch the game and I got a plate of food on my in my face, I'm going to let it go. Man, you out of line. And there's plenty of brothers out there that's out there doing that, committing that right now. Goddess worshiping in the whole nine. The Lord said what? The men all which knew their wives was out here burning incense unto other gods and knew their wives was wicked as hell. Continued on, it says, and that all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, as for the word which thou hast spoken unto us in the name of Yahweh, we will not hearken unto thee. Jeremiah, get the hell out of here. You're not going to ruin my household, man. Yeah, listen, man. I got to live with this woman. Woman saying, that's right, Jeremiah. Who the hell you think you are? You ain't going to tell us that the Lord's going to curse us and put us to death. We out here living great. We ain't doing that. You just a man. How do we know the Lord sent you? We're out here burning these incense to the Queen of Heaven. We've been doing good. Ever since we stopped, we catching hell. Jeremiah's trying to kill us, baby. Come on. And grabs the husband and leads him and tells him, and he goes off with his tail tucked between his legs and his head down, walking away. Verse 17, look, but we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done. We and our fathers, our kings and our princes, in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil. Oh yeah, as long as we were, going after the Queen of Heaven. Oh, as long as we're sitting back and observing the ways of Babylon and the mother of harlots, and we're following along with the folly days, and we just turned blind eyes and we forgot about all the righteousness that we learned. We don't want to hear about that no more. You know what? When we go along with the program, life is good. When we commit ourselves to the wickedness and drink the wine and the fornication, and we're fine. Jeremiah, you're not going to have us tripping. IQ, all of that doomsday talk, last day prayer, prophesying. I don't want to hear that right now. I want to have a good day. Well, so do I. And we're going to have a good day. Bahashem Mashiach outside, right? In the name of the anointed Savior, Yahweh, we're going to have a good day regardless, right? But we're not going to have a good day in ignorance. Scriptures tell us, man, be not ignorant in any matter, small or great. So we got to know, that's knowledge. So just want to bring that out. They didn't want to hear about the famine, pestilence, the plague, the death, and everything. They don't want to hear about it. They want to sit back and commit themselves to the evil, right? So that's how it goes down. Don't be this person either. Jeremiah 30. Excuse me, Isaiah 30. 38, and we're going to read down. Now go, Isaiah 30 and 8. Now go, write it before them in the table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. So these prophecies were to be documented, written plain upon tables. What's the next? Verse 9. That this is a rebellious, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. So he said this is documented. And it's in time continuum that the children of Israel will be rebellious. They love to lie. Children that don't want to hear the law. I mean, you see it all day long. At one point in time, we was one of those same rebellious, lying children until we hearkened unto the voice of Christ and repented. Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Hey, don't tell us about war, pestilence, plague, evil. Don't tell us about repenting before the time's too late. Don't tell us to watch and pray. I don't want to see all that right now. Let me tune out. It's overwhelming. My head is exploding. I just need to see some good stuff right now. There's good stuff too. We stay balanced, of course. But sometimes I know people get overwhelmed. They say, yeah, I can't do it. I'm cool, man. That's all that brother goes into. No, it ain't. Once a week, yes. But other lessons, everything I've done for damn near 30 years has been completely balanced. But this is information that needs to be becoming even more expedient, even more understanding because of the times that we're in. Would say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. See, don't be this individual that just wants to hear everything's going to be all right. Just wants to hear about the turn-ups and the great things that go on within Israel and, in the world. And yet you want to hear lies. You're clinging on to ears of doctrines that you know are questionable. Doctrines that you know is like, that don't sound right. But for the sake of, going along to get along, you do it. Speak of those smooth things, prophesy lies. You don't want to hear about. We're winding this thing down. You don't want to hear about the things that's going on in the earth, things that's going on within our nation, things that pertain to our salvation. No, you just want to hear some more foolishness. Sorry. Not sorry. Verse 11, get you out the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in the high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. That's our job, is to try to prevent that. Saving souls is what we're into, right? So let's just make sure that we're not in that spirit, man. I know it can be coming. It can get a little dark and overwhelming, but guess what? That's the stage that we're in. This is where we're at in these times, according to the scriptures. We're not in the time of Solomon where there's 40 years of peace and everything's cracking and popping, and that's not right now. We're in the time now where we have to start preparing our minds, spirits, and bodies for the oncoming prophecies of judgment that's to befall the world, and in particular our nation, because the scriptures say, man, judgment must first happen in the house of the Lord first. So now that we got that out the way, let's balance it out, man. Let's stay encouraged. Let's stay focused in on the scriptures. Let's stay focused in on trusting in the Most High, trusting in his righteousness. He said he's not a man that he should lie. If we're doing what we're supposed to do, you wouldn't be worried about the things that get covered on DSTN. Look at it. Psalms 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust. Surely he will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Did you hear that? Surely he will deliver you. But what do you have to do in order to gain that deliverance, man? You got to trust in the Most High, worship Him with truth and in spirit, keep the commandments, fear Him. You understand what I'm saying? And apply these things in life. The problem with a lot of our people in our nation, man, is they get the word, you get all the information, you get the knowledge, but application, living this is a whole nother thing. It's a problem for some of our people, man. We always say, man, we always used to tell brothers and continue to tell brothers. And why I say brothers, because, the brothers are the men on the front lines. And most I said the sheep of this flock of men. When brothers going out streets, going out on the streets, getting built up for soldier program classes and things of that nature, we're not weekend Israelites. It's not, the Sabbath, let me throw my fringes on, let me get ready, let me put my boots on, and let me go out here and profile from it. No. 24/7 is what it takes. Not on some part-time, I'm this way when I'm at work, I'm that way when I'm at the school, or if I'm not at the school, if I'm out in the streets, I'm a whole nother way. When I'm around my friends and family, I'm this way. We're not chameleons. You got to be consistent. That's how we'll gain these particular shieldings and protection from the Most High. So continuing on verse 3, surely he will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Verse 4, he shall cover thee with his feathers. Under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So this is why the truth is important. We talk about being in quote unquote the truth. Well, in Psalms, 119, 142, it says thy law is the truth. That's what keeps us protected. That's what keeps us within the buckler and the shield and under the wings and the feathers of the Most High. In our trust in Him, it says his truth shall be thy shield and buckler. That's our protection. Psalm 119, 142 tells you what the truth is. Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that fly by day. So we hear about the arrows, the missiles, those things. We know those things are coming. They're already flying crazy over there in the Middle East, over there in Russia and Ukraine. They're already going down. We know that there's an impending doom, that this place here is going to get hit. The Lord said that we're not to be afraid of those things. The terror by night, you see everybody out there with their binoculars and their phones. They're looking at drones all day. What is that? Oh my goodness. Is it a chariot? Is it a UFO? Are they alien? They throw up all of these damn distractionary things as a psyop, which is really what it boils down to get people hyped up to start moving the herds into particular directions mentally. If the government and everybody else said, oh yeah, the drones are this, that, and the third, shift them over this way. Now that we've got enough hype that's going on TikTok, Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and all of these particular, commentaries about what it is. Now we've got the people of the minds captivated on theories. Now we can shift their attention away from other things that are more important. You see, World War III is just jumping up. We've been talking about the pestilences that our enemies are drumming up the last 3 weeks. Talking about all the plots, plan, everything he's working on to distract us away from maintaining our faith in the truth, the shield, the buckler, the trust in the Most High, but at the same time still knowing and preparing for what's to come down the pipeline. So we're not to be afraid of that terrors by night. That's why they send out these drones at night. Where normally they say drones can only be flown during the day. Why are these being licensed to fly at night? Because they're being ran by governmental sources. Outside of that, to still throw in the disillusionment of, they're UFOs. They're using that term, or the UAE, what do they call them? UAE, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Just because they said we don't know what it is, but because those acronyms always lead to alien, like UFO, must be alien. No, it's like a white lie. It's like, yeah, we're not sure exactly what it is. Call it UFO, but because they've already laid out all these particular scenarios, UFO equals alien, everybody think that that's what that means initially. No, that's not the case. All right. Verse 6, nor for the pestilence that walketh in the darkness. Yeah, we don't know about the pestilences that walketh in the darkness. Remember, they just got to talking about the lab leak over there in Australia. You seen Peter Hotez 2 weeks ago. I played the video of him talking about all the things they're talking about, everything in their arsenal. They're ready to release on January 21st. Ironically, after the inauguration of the chump, Agent 45 or Orange 45 or whatever you want to call him, all of a sudden you got these things ready to roll. Huh? We'll talk a little bit more about that as we continue on today. But the Lord said we're not to be afraid of these things, nor for the pessimists that walk in the darkness, things that we don't know what it is, where it's coming from. But the Lord said, don't worry about it. Nor for the destruction that wasted at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. That's where our faith is. The Lord said there's going to be mass destruction, death, all that. He said, but if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're living on the right hand side of the Most High, you're fearing Him, you're keeping it. He said that it's not going to come to us. We have to truly believe that. All hell could be breaking loose all around us, and we've got no answers. We're trying to figure out. But the Lord said, if you're doing what you're supposed to, I'm going to make sure you're all right. I've heard testimonies, hurricanes, floods, and the whole line, man. One brother in particular, his household. I remember hitting him in Florida. Checking on the brother, hey, man, y'all good? I'm flooding, hurricane. This about a year or two ago. Brother said, Elder, you won't believe it. Every other house flooded, jacked up, except for ours, man. Like it went around our house. And that ain't his testimony ain't the only one. I've heard this on a couple of other occasions where particular destruction and disaster was supposed to hit, and it went around or did not touch a brother or sister's home. That's how the Lord works, man. That's how it works. If we're faithfully engaged and we're doing what we're supposed to do, that's how it is. Job 5. This is inspiration. This is what the Most High said. Yeah, you might hear doom, gloom. You might hear about a lot of bad stuff, but guess what? If we're on the right-hand side of the Lord, man, and we're fearing Him and we're keeping the commandments and we're doing what we're supposed to do as men and women of the Lord, we're going to make it out. We're going to be all right. The Lord promised that a remnant is going to escape. The Lord promised that His servants was going to eat, drink, going to be taken care of in these times, before our deliverance. Yeah, there's going to be Jacob's trouble in the whole nine. Not saying it's going to be some pre-tribulation, no tribulation rapture like the Christians. No, we might catch some hell. You might go through some things, but guess what? The Lord said He's going to deliver us out of them. Look at this. Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. So that doesn't mean that trouble's not going to come our way. He said you can have 6 troubles. We're going to go through some trouble. But guess what? Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. He said when them troubles are completed, you're going to be delivered and going to be protected. Thus saith the Lord. So I'm not setting up to the table to tell you, you ain't going to go through nothing. Everything's going to be great. When all hell's breaking loose, you're going to. No. The Lord said, hey, trouble's coming. You're going to get hit in some trouble. Some of us might. The scriptures even tell us, man, some of us going to be jailed. Some of us going to be martyred. Some of us going to get thrown in camps. The whole nine. Your family, your kinfolk, they're going to turn on you. They're going to turn you in. They're going to, completely disassociate themselves with you. The scriptures say, man, your friends are going to fight like enemies. I mean, there's going to be trouble. Famine. This is why we engage in fastings and things of that nature, man. The Lord tries to get us in preparation of being without, going through a situation of dwelling in booths and tabernacles where you're going to be like a pilgrim, where you may be homeless. You may not have a place to rest your head, but guess what? You've already been accustomed to sleeping outside. And you've already got your tent and everything else because you've been keeping tabernacle for however long you've been in the truth. So you're going to be okay in particular situations because we've started on a routine that if adapted right, we can always fall back onto checking out. There you go right there. Shalom to the house of Elkanah. Exactly. Those things. So yeah, trouble's gonna come. In 7, there shall no evil touch thee. Verse 20. In famine, He shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So, when it comes down to people, in today's term, ratting, Scourge of the tongue, condemnation. Oh, they're in the cult. They're wicked. They're there. They're over there, officer. Yeah, my son, he's one of them. He lives right over there. And they be coming. They congregate. They got a church over here, or they meet at such and such's house. They invited me. I've been over there one time. Go over there and get them. Spare me. Give me my meat for the day. You understand? Like when all hell's breaking loose and this famine's going on, and the government is out here rationing out food for information. You don't think your wicked ass cousin is gonna say, yeah, hell yeah, I know where you're at. Now, where's my bologna sandwich? I'll tell you. Can I have my GMO, lab grown meat, whatever? You dig what I'm saying? The scourge of the tongue, all the condemnation, everything coming down the pipeline. The Lord said, we'll be here. They'll be talking about it. It won't affect us. We won't be acknowledged by it. We'll be tucked away. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it comes. So when the bombs get to hitting, civil war, race war gets to cracking off over here, you're not going to be panicking, tripping. You already knew it was coming. Preparations you may have or should be already making in those times, right? 22, at destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. See, and this is where we all we all need to step up the game, but especially sisters, man. The Lord said, man, you're not going to be afraid of beasts in the earth, man. Sisters running from flies, goddamn, roach, whatever the case may be. Oh, bug, spider. And you running for your life. How the hell are you going to be ready to be not afraid of a beast of the earth? He talking about an insect that's more scared of you than you scared of it. When the beasts of the earth, man, they start plowing down here and start to come on into neighborhoods, which you're already seeing now. We've witnessed things, everything from alligators in communities to bears, possums, raccoons, bobcats, mountain lions. They're already creeping down. Coyotes, we were just talking about coyotes last weekend. Creeping down into brothers' houses and homes and neighborhoods. The Lord said, we ain't going to be afraid of these things, man, when they get to coming down. Bird flu. Oh, here come the bird. No. All right. Continuing on. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. They're going to submit. Going back to the time of Genesis, when Adam had dominion over all the earth and the animals and naming them, and the Lord said that spirit is going to be on us, where they're going to flee. They ain't going to bother you. 24, and thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin. See, that goes into, also with the feast of dedication. When we rededicated the temple and the tabernacle was set back up and the altar was set back up, man, we was at peace. We had a peaceful time where we still had to battle off them Greeks, but guess what? We had our form of worship and our temple back in order again. That's when the Lord put that spirit on us, man, when we wasn't fearing famine, plague, war, nothing. What we did know was that we needed our temple back so that we can worship our Father again in righteousness, and anything that got in our way needed to be destroyed. And the Greeks felt the wrath. That thou shalt visit and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shalt not sin. That was the whole point, because what was happening? Hellenism. Our people was getting caught up. I guess this is a / dedication list. Just a little bit. But thou shalt visit thy habitation and not sin. What was the whole purpose? Because why? Our people was caught in sin. The Greeks was, had our people out here conforming to Hellenistic ways, following after their ways, changing names, not circumcising their kids, offering swine on the altar, worshiping the Greek gods, conforming to their uniforms, creating sports teams, fighting, going after their Olympic games, working out in the gymnasiums, naked with them, wrestling, and the Maccabees was like, this is enough of this. Our people is caught in major sin. We need to get this temple back in order to bring our people back into not sinning any longer. Having righteous forms of worship, man. And if it means we got to fight to the death, we got to do it. That's what we're talking about. Verse 25. Thou shalt also know also that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring as the grass of the earth. Thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like as a shock of corn cometh in the season. So we're going to fully fulfill our age and our time on this earth, man. You ain't gonna be worried about, man, a black man lucky to see 25 and no. Brothers getting cancer and all kind of issues at 30, and all these impotent brothers out here, man, they can't get it up no more at 18, 25 years old, needing drug enhancements just because their whole immune system and their body is jacked up, man. The reproductive system is that. We're gonna see that in a minute too later. We'll say, man, no, that's not going down. Last verse. Lo, this we have searched it, so it is. Hear it and know thou it for thy good. It's all for our good. All for our good. But the Lord says he's going to deliver us in all these things. So, yeah, you're going to hear some bad stuff, but guess what? We got some good news too. But it's up to you to apply it. It's up to me to apply it. It's up to me to believe. Psalm 27:1. The Most High Yahweh is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Most High Yahweh is the strength of my life, and whom shall I be afraid? So this ain't the time to be biting your nails and, oh, man, did you hear that? Brother said, oh, did you see the video? They doing it. Calm down. All right. Gird up thy loins like a man, like the scripture say. You understand what I'm saying? The sister in 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter, man, said she had 7 sons got put to death, man. They said she had to gather the stomach of a man in order to see her sons get tortured and put to death. That's what we're talking about. The Lord said, well, who are we supposed to be afraid of? You worried about, hey, who knows what they're going to do next year? I'm going to preface this by 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago. Yeah, it's longer than that. 4 years ago. And they had that plague jumping off, threatening jobs and threatening your views in the military, you was getting discharged dishonorably, all that stuff. People scared as hell. I can't lose my job. Here, poke me in the arm. I'll take it. I ain't trying to lose. Oh, okay. You ready to submit? Nah, people, man, gave up. And I'm talking in the truth. You got some camps, man, that was out here compromising. Just get the jab. Oh, I want life to get back to normal. It's all right. The Lord's gonna protect you. Take it. Now people's out there all jacked up. Then they double back and flip and tell you, oh, guess what? We were wrong about certain researchers that we was doing. Oh, guess what? The army, everybody got discharged out the army. They begging them to come back and back paying them and all kind of stuff, saying, yeah, we was wrong on that. I mean, how foolish do people feel? Like, I trusted in I trusted in them rather than the Lord, and guess what happened? I got it. I still got sick. I still got jacked up. I got long-term issues. And then they doubled back and told me, sorry, we were wrong. We didn't need to discharge you. We didn't need to fire you. You can have your job back. It's like, well, damn, they laid dollar short, man. You already poisoned. So who are we supposed to fear? We fear the Most High, period. Continuing on. When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. So, Esau's going to plot, plan. They're going to try to come for you. The nations are, even within your own nation. Scripture said, Christ said, man, a man's foe is going to be there of his own household. You may not even you may be just mind your business and people tripping. The Lord said they're going to stumble and fall. Everything they plot and plan against you. Look, the shielding and the feather wing of the Most High can't be penetrated, man, if you're underneath it there. For the Marvel fans out there, man, y'all seen the what's the name of it? The Falcon. The Falcon. The Jake that he got the little The bodysuit, the exo bodysuit gives him the wings and all that. The wings is bulletproof, you know, and it's protected. I think it's made out of whatever the same alloy metal that Iron Man suit is. But you know, he used them wings and he can cover himself up. People shooting at him, and that's like the Most High's wings. If y'all know what I'm talking about, the Falcon from the Avengers and on Disney Plus, they got a show called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and the Falcon. And that's actually a good show. That's a good one because it gives you some real nuggets, man. They tell you on that one, man, the real Captain America was a Jake. And they buried him alive. They buried his whole story alive because he went against orders and saved his troops, which was probably fellow Jakes. They wanted him to sacrifice his men, and he went and saved the men, and they desecrated his memory and dirtied his name and the whole nine. And then they gave the glory to a white man. How familiar is that story? But anyway, verse 3. Though an host should encamp against thee, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of Yahweh, that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of Yahweh all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of Yahweh and to inquire in his temple. See, and read this whole chapter, right? Read this whole chapter. I'm going to read just a couple more, and then we're going to get to some of these current events. Bear with me. But this is something necessary I just want to come out with. I'm going to just get straight to the scripture. Psalm 112:7 says, he shall not be afraid of evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord. Did you hear that? Your mind, your heart, my mind, heart has to be fixated on trusting in Yahweh. Locked in, no diverting, and there's no loosening. Evil tidings that come your way, man, we can't be afraid of those things because we're trusting in the Lord and our mind is fixated, locked in, completely unmoved when it comes down to these things. All right. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 12. And let's read verse 8. It says, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And this is Paul. And we know Paul went through all kinds of infirmities, oppressions, rejections, distrust, everything, shipwrecks, robbery, jail. Paul went through it. And Paul even said, ain't none of us resisted unto blood. So we definitely can't say, yeah, I'm going through it, man. Can you compare notes with Paul? Can you compare notes with the apostles and the disciples yet? No. Daniel, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Habakkuk, can we compare notes with them, man? No. Jonah. We going through it, but we'll get through it. Look at this. Verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. See, we don't understand our strengths until it's tried. Just like Mike Tyson's old analogy, which says everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face. It's like, how do you receive that? And how do you come back from it? How did you take it? I always mess this quote up, man, but Elder Rashab said that character isn't made in adversity, it's revealed. I think I got it right. Character isn't made in adversity, it's revealed. Something of that nature. Elder, put it in the chat if you can, man, if I got that wrong. But it's going to be revealed, man. When you're going through some things, you're going to see really what you're made of, really what your mind frame is. What is your reasoning? The wisdom and the knowledge that the Lord delivered to you, are you exercising it? Are you utilizing it? Or do you just go hands in the air and you go back to your normal carnal instincts and just react accordingly? But the Most High through Yahweh said, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. So when we get brought down low, our strength is going to get continually tried and built up. That's how it works. You got to go through it. Acts 14:22 says that's how we get confirmed, is going through afflictions. Verse 10. Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities and reproaches and necessities and persecutions and distresses for Hamashiach's sake, Yahweh's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. So Paul said, man, infirmities, reproaches, necessities, persecutions, distress. We're going through it for Yahweh's sake. We're going to get built up. That's when we find our strength. You know that old saying, man, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Where do you think they got that from? That's where we get to find that, man. I'm just gonna read verse 26. This is when Yahweh was on the boat with the disciples. Yahweh tried to tell them, stay up with them. They was falling asleep. Waves get to crashing and moving. He jumps out. He gets to walking on water. He told them, come out with me, man. They were scared as hell. The only one that jumped out was Peter. And Peter actually was able to stand and walk on water for a minute until he doubted and he sunk. Verse 26, it says, and he said unto them, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? What happened? The waves got to rocking. The tempest of the sea was getting moving. How's that reflecting our lives when things get to rocking and moving and being unstable and all of that? Well, why do we get fearful? Why do we trip and say, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm scared, bro. And panic. Here we see what happened on the boat. Yahweh said, why are you fearful? Oh, ye of little faith. What should we be applying when things get rocky around us? Our faith. We got to fully trust in the Most High. Why Yahweh that we're going to be delivered, that there's answers for our questions. Continuing on, it says, then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. So Yahweh said, man, when things get rocky and things get to moving wild and unstable and you lose control, do you use fear or do you use faith? That's what the question is. He said, man, why are you scared? We don't do that. Shouldn't do that. It's a principle and it's a practice. It's not just some overnight thing and we get over our fears. No, but you got to go through some things. And the Lord is going to make sure he puts us through these things and these afflictions to make sure that you exercise it, you practice it, so that you can come out on top stronger, better than you were before. What good is your strength and your faith and all if it's not tried and tested? You got to try and test it to see where you're at. And the Lord makes sure that he puts us through those things. But if you get discombobulated, discomfited, and confused and tripping and wondering why things is coming down the pipeline, and you give up, you lose faith, you get weak, the Lord said, oh, see, he wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. But if you use those principles, man, to get stronger, get built, you take your licks, you get back up, you're going to be better for it. That's why when we see all these things going on, man, if just reading about it, hearing about it, seeing some things go down, you got you tripping. Imagine when it's at your front door for real. Plague, pestilence, family dying, the whole nine. You sitting back saying, well, what the hell? What should I do? I'm scared. You compromise and say, oh, I'm not an Israelite. No. Remember, even Peter tried that. Not saying he wasn't Israelite, but remember, he disassociated himself with Yahweh. When he got questioned, said, well, aren't you with them? He said, no, not me. I'm not with them. Even Peter, the rock, head of the church, got tested and tried and fumbled. So don't sit in your mind saying, I've never. This is why we practice. This is why the Lord puts us through it, because you never know. You never know. 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Most High have not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So the spirit of fear comes on you, it ain't come from the Most High. It's coming from your flesh, it's coming from Satan, it's coming from another entity. For the Lord said, I ain't put the spirit of fear in you. That's all you. But now you got to get up out of it, man. Power, love, sound mind. That's how we move. All right. So just wanted to throw that out there on the table, man. Lord willing, it was inspiring. Lord willing, it helps some of y'all in this walk and when we go over things like this. So nobody sits back and says, oh, another one, another problem, another issue, another thing. We're getting closer to the end. I'm scared. I don't want to hear about it no more. Let me turn off DSTM. Look. You wasn't built for it. You wasn't ready. All right. Don't be like them women in Jeremiah saying, I don't want to hear about it. I'm going back to burning incense and cutting up and acting the damn fool. Don't do it. All right. Here we go. So, series Assad blames terrorism for regime collapse in first statement since his defeat. How long we've been talking about it? Yes, the U.S. Israel has been utilizing ISIS and utilizing terrorist cells over there to take over Syria. This is just confirmation of what we've been saying all along. They went out there, they tried to use this whole narrative of, oh, Assad is his old dictator, murderous, slaughterous person that needs to be taken over, and America, Israel, we're the good guys, and the guys that's not down there on the feet, down there on the front lines. These guys are brave warrior rebels who's fighting against the terror that's going on. Come on, I got it right, Elder. All praises. Now we're seeing, these guys are quote unquote former ISIS members who's been reformed, man. They've been reprogrammed all of a sudden. Now they don't believe the tenets of the Islamic beliefs that led them on to be a terrorist organization. They don't believe that no more, huh? Somehow they got turned out by America and Israel. I mean, come on, man. So this is just more confirmation. Assad is saying, look, man, terrorists have took over. This is a whole terrorist organization. This is terrorism that we've experienced. The same thing that America says, they're fighting the war on terror. They're against terror, but they use terror to take over this thing. You can't make this stuff up, man. The hypocrisy is wild. So he says, my departure from Syria was neither planned nor did it occur in the final hours of the battles, Assad said in the statement posted to the presidency's official Telegram channel. As terrorist forces infiltrated Damascus, I moved to Latakia in coordination with our Russian allies to oversee combat operations, Assad said. So there you have it. This is confirmation of what I've been talking about, brought out weeks ago, that this was a planned attack. America is using terrorists to do their bidding. And, now they've created a destabilized Middle East that they already said that they were trying to conquer. They wanted to take over. Remember last week, General Wesley Clark was saying they had a plan to take over 7 nations in 5 years. Syria was one of them. They've collapsed. Libya was one of them. They've collapsed. Iraq was one of them. They've collapsed. Yemen and Sudan, I believe, they're non-factors. And he said the last is Iran. I don't know if I got all 7, but you count them down, it's 7, but the last one is Iran. This is why we're seeing Iran in the mix with everything that's going on over there. But now that Syria is destabilized, it's up to America to try to figure out which piece of the pie they're either going to give to. They're getting ready to let Turkey and Israel, not our people Israel, but the others, you know who I'm talking about, let them fight over for control for that, and then America's going to, get some puppet leadership in there. You dig what I'm saying? So all confirmations, we're on the right track. Israel drops an earthquake bomb, colossal explosion, so it registered on the Richter scale, hits the Syrian coast as airstrikes target weapons depots after the fall of the Assad regime. Now, this is interesting because when's the last time that y'all heard anything about Palestine, Hamas? Put it in the chat. Let me get a look real quick. When was the last time you heard or saw anything about Hamas, Palestine, Gaza? And it's just a little something to hit me. We've been hearing about Iran, Hezbollah, Syria, all that stuff for the last damn near 6-8 months, year, maybe 6-8 months. I don't want to go too far back. But the whole narrative of Palestine, Gaza, are we seeing free Palestine people protesting anymore? Have y'all seen that of late? Correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't seen it in a minute. Throw it in the chat. Don't be scared. If you can say, man, yeah, I ain't heard about that in a minute. They ain't really been talking about Palestine too long. Or if they have, correct me. And I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about it. Contribute in the chat and let me know. Okay. One brother says no, he ain't heard about it. I guess the rest of y'all been hearing about Palestine. It's still free Palestine. And people are still protesting. Gaza still under attack. We you know, the refugee encampments are still being victimized. Have y'all seen any of these headlines of late? No, I haven't. I haven't either. Okay, Koab says it's been about a month. Shar says it's been a minute for him. Kabar says I ain't heard about it at all. Now, why do I say this? Now the focus is more on the Middle East now. Now it's war in the Middle East. The war has been transferred. We ain't heard too much about, Israel against Palestine. That's kind of died down. That's already kind of simmered. They got that under control. That was more of a bigger catalyst to move towards justification to expand the war to the Middle East, if you follow me. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this was all planned. Shh, they're listening. This was all part of the bigger picture. Remember, if you double back, like I just said, Wesley Clark said he got the memo from the Pentagon. Middle East is about to be under siege. 7 of these nations got to fall under the hand of the mother harlot of the great whore. We're coming to get it. We're going to control it. Look at this. Why do I say this? Just out the BBC. Let's look at this headline real quick. One headline. Why did it take Israel so long to deal with Hamas attacks on Gaza? Were the Israel Defense Forces, the IDF, in those long hours, where were the Israel Defense Forces in those long hours as Hamas militants roamed at will around communities near Gaza? Some are asking. So there's a question. Where were they? What happened? Why did they allow so much time to elapse when the October 7th attack happened? Let's look at this one from Reuters. First Israeli military report on October 7th. Attack finds, get out of the way. Just let me double back. The first Israeli military report on October 7th. Attack finds army failed to protect the civilians. Oh, a stand down, if you will. You said, what do you mean stand down? That means that prior knowledge was understood and somebody put out a word and said, let it happen. Okay, hold on. Look at this. I'm not even gonna touch it. You read it. This out of where? Who posted this? Their own people? And they want to come out with it way later, months after the war's already been initiated. Everything's too far gone to stop. June 17, 2024. We're talking, 8 months later. When you acknowledge, oops, guess what? We knew some things ahead of time. Look at this. The GMO officials repeatedly dismissed warning signs before the attack. Military knew of the attack. Exactly, Naquab. That's why we're talking about it. You're right. They did what? Oh, IDF knew of the plan to kidnap 250 people before the October 7th attack, but they let it go. The IDF had precise information about Hamas' intentions, but due to prevailing conceptions in the security establishment and possible negligence by officials, the warning signs were not acted on. Oh, so you knew about it, but you didn't do nothing about it. You stood down. Look at what happened on January 6th. Remember seeing all them cops? They was escorting them Edomites around the White House, letting them do whatever they wanted to do, opening up the doors. And then they double back and say, oh, look what happened. This was an insurrection. This was a treasonous. It's a sedition. You saying, well, who let it happen? Some things is more than me side, man. We're dealing with the devil, mind you. So-called white man is the devil. He is the top deceiver on earth. Look at it. Israeli military abandoned kibbutz for hours during the attack. Now, this ain't me saying this. This is NBC. Critical questions remain unanswered. Residents of kibbutz said, such as why the army forces at kibbutz and entrance didn't enter the kibbutz despite our desperate pleas for rescue. They're screaming at the gates, they're at the door saying, help us, and the military sitting back watching. This opened up the door for what? What we're seeing right now. This is why they were able to topple and you know, say, oh, this was an attack. Those people have the right to defend themselves. So now we've got justification to initiate war, expand the war. Now we're into Middle East. Now we're Lebanon, Syria, Iran, Iraq, you know, multiple nations all involved now. Turkey's involved. Russia. You see how that works? And the GMO Jew you know, the GMO fakes is over there letting all hell break loose, dropping earthquake bombs. So long gone are we were talking about some damn Hamas. This is all lined up to get to where we're at right now. The devil, man, he's strategic, man. But is it, you know, let's give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, because we know that's the Most High playing chess, lining these things up. But in the fleshly level, carnal level, in the worldly level, we see in the nations, the kingdoms, and how they move and operating, and really who's starting what, and what's the overall goal. We see it. All right. So they knew about what was going to happen. They did nothing. Then when it happened, for hours, they let it go down before they run up in there and say, we're under attack. Hey, we got to stop it. We're the hostages, and hundreds of people have died, and these wicked sand niggas got us. And we need the right to defend ourselves. America, do we have your authority? No. America sit back and say, this horrible attack, such and such. This is why the hashtag, the line that all the media was saying, Israel has the right to defend themselves. The government, everybody was saying the same lines because it's all scripted. Then they go out there and bomb, 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 bomb. That's right, Willie. It is all the will of the Most High. That's why I said give all credit, all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, because that's what it is. But when we look at it through the prophecy, we're seeing these nations and what's going on. That also is a revealing. Now we're putting on the pieces of the puzzle together. How World War III is going to be initiated, started, Valley Jehoshaphat, the whole nine, right? So we can see, man, the devil's at work, man. And this is more just justification, man. When we say that the white man is a devil, it's not just some old cliche thing. The devil is a deceiver. He is the top one. He is utilizing media, censorship, money, power, influence to do his bidding and create narratives. And that's exactly what he does. Now, who's on the defense, and who's on the aggressor? This don't sound like the right to defend themselves, dropping earthquake bombs. Come on, let's move on. Ukraine says it killed a senior Russian general in Moscow in a scooter bombing. You know, they're still over there turning up, testing Putin, trying to see how far he's willing to go. They got the long range missiles that they've been able to use. They just took out this top general Igor Killarov. Says he's the head of the Russian armed forces, a radiological, chemical, and biological defense troops, was killed outside a residential building along with his assistant. Russian law enforcement authorities said they're saying quite possibly because his specialty was in chemical and biological warfare, he was getting ready to crack the code and expose chemical warfare labs and stuff like that over there in Ukraine. They had to put him to death before they got busted on it. And that's really not too much of a revelation because what was that? At least a year or so ago, I played the video of Victoria Nuland, the former, I forgot whatever her position is, secretary. What was Victoria Nuland's? What was her position? It's the same woman that said, F the EU, they're putting in public American diplomat, Secretary of State of Political Affairs. Yeah, she got out the game in earlier this year. She was involved with the Nord Stream pipeline. She's involved in the overthrow of particular countries in Ukraine and throwing in puppet dictators. And she was in a congressional hearing and she said, "Yeah, there's chemical labs over in Ukraine, but we're not drumming up anything over there. Nothing's going on." After they were told that there was no chemical labs over there, she said, "Oh well, there's research, but you know we're not we're not using them for war. No." Now you got this guy, man. He's top head of radiological, chemical, biological defense, and you know he might have had some intelligence that could have blew the lid off of it. That now he can't speak no more. So he got smoked. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Some more propaganda, more BS, right? If you remember last week, I played the video. Well, I didn't play the video, but I showed you the Wikipedia article about the little teenage girl over there in where was she from? Iraq or Kuwait? She was talking about they killed the babies in the incubators and all of that, and they said that it was all a lie. But her testimonies in them congressional hearings was used for that Kuwaiti war to all frame this image of, oh, Saddam Hussein, you know, he's over here killing people and blah, 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 and murdering babies, and we got to go free them. Now look at this. A freed faker, viral Syrian quote-unquote prisoner. Remember, they said, you know, they said Assad got torture chambers in his prisons. He probably does. But this guy wasn't one of them. It was later revealed. Let me read this, man. I don't want to blow the lid. Oh, look, freed faker, viral Syrian quote prisoner found by CNN crew. There goes Cool Nigga News, Clinton News Network. They're involved in this thing. They're saying that they found him by CNN crew cowering in a cell, was fleeing Assad officer pretending to be a regime critic. CNN got this fake investigational video. Oh, they got, you know, the military coming in to help free prisoners. They found this guy curled up and acting like he had been held hostage and tortured. And CNN gives him an exclusive interview. Look what we found. And it was all fake. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, man. The viral quote-unquote prisoner discovered by a CNN news crew cowering in a cell was one of Assad's evil torturers. He's one in there torturing people. And now they sat back and said, well, if we can use you to say you was one of the tortured, you know, we'll let you off so that we can continue on with it. You see what I'm saying? He's one of the bad guys, in other words, fronting like he was being tortured and held in the cell for years on end. The viral quote-unquote prisoner discovered by a CNN news crew cowering in a cell was one of Assad's evil torturers, a Syrian fact-checking site has claimed. The so-called imprisoned civilian was found trembling under a blanket before being freed by the team, exclaiming, "Oh God, there is light." I mean, this is the extent that they're going to. Crisis actors, fake prisoners being held in torture chambers, all to create and continue promoting and putting out this narrative of why Syria needs to be destroyed in a regime change. Unbelievable. But all part of the plan. Continued on. U.S. fears military buildup by Turkey signals preparation for an incursion into Syria. So this is just going into Syria's trying to get their dibs on. Turkey's trying to get their dibs on Syria so they can try to control that. Israel wants to control it. So there's going to be a button ahead. So America's going to have to step in and say, hey, you can have this portion, you got this portion, or no, we're putting Israel over this, you know. We'll see, because Turkey's already kind of been in rebellion with America, but because they want power, they're going to kiss the ring and they're going to continue drinking that wine until they, get what they want. Senior U.S. officials say Turkey and its militia allies are building up forces along the border with Syria, raising alarm that Ankara is preparing for a large-scale incursion into territory held by American-backed Syrian Kurds. The forces include militia fighters, Turkish uniformed commandos, and artillery in large numbers that are concentrated near Kobani, a Kurdish majority city in Syria on the northern border with Turkey. The official said a Turkish cross-border operation could be imminent, one of the U.S. officials said. So the fighting and the war going on in Syria is not over. Turkey now is trying to invade and take over. GMO forces on the opposite side, they're getting in. America's trying to maintain their stronghold of influence over there. So they ain't done. Look at this. Oh, breaking news. 895 billion, that's what it be, billion. Remember George Bush said wars make money. $895 billion defense spending bill passes amid World War III fears. I mean, if World War III wasn't on the table, man, they're spending almost $1 trillion for military defense, shoring up their defenses in preparation for what's coming down the pipeline. If we're at a time of peace, if they wasn't worried about, remember, the chump, Agent Orange, was running around talking about he's going to stop all these wars. Well, let me be clear. Mofo, why are you signing off or allowing $895 billion as a defense bill if you're about peace? And we see what happened with the struggle with the budget, and that's a whole nother thing. We'll look at it in a minute. But this is just a point to be made. $895 billion, almost $1 trillion, man. America can pull out the crack of his hoes cheeks. You dig what I'm saying? I don't know what they can do, drum up a damn near $1 trillion to prepare for war. But as Tupac said, you got money for war, but can't feed the poor. You understand what I'm saying? This is how you know. Esau said he's going to live by the sword. This is how he funds that prophecy. Genesis, what is it? 27:41. There's no way that the damn Arabs is the white man. I mean, what? This man lives by war. He's going to spend $1 trillion on military defense, warfare, that he can just print up, drum out of thin air, and sign off on it. Now, with that budget being approved, because remember, they were close to having a governmental shutdown, as usual. House divided against itself, can't stand. They're fighting over how much money to spend here, how much money to spend there. They were getting ready to have a government shutdown. They denied a couple of the spending bills earlier. It wasn't looking good, but they were able to come up with a new budget plan for the next 3 months. But guess what? Agent Orange is already being backstabbed. They're already turning against him. The honeymoon is over, and he ain't even got in the office yet. Remember after that, after he got elected, November 6th, oh, guess what? The markets went crazy. Everybody was getting money. He was even tweeting, talking about Bitcoin. You're welcome. Yeah, you're all going to be rich thanks to me. And now everything is on a downward spiral. That lasted about a good month and some change. And during that time, anybody that was involved in the markets, you probably made a nice little bit of change. If you had a decent investment in certain elements of stock or crypto, you probably got some bread out the deal. But now everything is red, everything on the downswing. The honeymoon is over. And they're already backstabbing this dude and before he even gets in. So that house divided, man, is serious. It cannot stand. Look, Trump is not happy after House passes the bill without his main ask report. What did he want? He wanted a government ceiling. I mean, he wanted a debt ceiling, which means there's got to be a max amount of borrowing that America's going to do. Democrats was like, blow the ceiling off, spending sprees, print up money for everybody, whatever we need. We're just going to debt. Now, you know, America found itself damn near $36 trillion in debt. The chump was like, no, we got to stop this. If it's going to be, you know, 3 trillion, that's it. We got to figure out how we're going to divide that 3 trillion up. But they all said, F out of here. We're signing this bill off, man, and we ain't doing what you say. So already he's got rebelliousness within his house. Look at this. President-elect the chump is displeased that the House of Representatives passed a spending bill on Friday night that did not include an extension or elimination of the debt ceiling. Passage came just hours ahead of a potential government shutdown. The Senate later passed the bill by a vote of 85-11. On Wednesday, Speaker Mike Johnson scrapped an earlier funding bill after Elon Musk, which is wild to me how this dude managed to slither his way into a high government office, and now he's calling shots. I mean, can you imagine this dude who's gone as far to say that he's a descendant of aliens? I mean, we see his tech and everything he's trying to push, from Neuralink, driverless cars, AI. He wants the Colossus AI robots in your house. We're seeing all of the recalls on these damn the cyber trucks, and they just had a 700,000 Tesla car recall. I mean, the technology is failing. That he's been, you know, been having a lot of issues with some of this tech, but he's being praised as a brainchild, man. And he's in the ear of the chump, Agent Orange, man. This dude managed to finagle his way. No political experience, no nothing. Same for the chump. They both managed to finagle their way into this thing, man. They're getting ready to call the shots and dry this place into the dirt. All praises to the Most High. So, had a funding bill set up where Elon Musk and Agent Orange came out against it. Seemingly out of nowhere, Trump demanded the House raise or abolish the debt ceiling, which sets a limit on how much money the federal government may borrow. The debt ceiling has occasionally been used as a cudgel by congressional Republicans against Democrat presidents. Not surprisingly, Democratic lawmakers have signaled a willingness to back its elimination. So, you know, they're already going against him. So we'll see how that turns out with this new regime, as he claimed he's cleaning the swamp, but he got new swamp things and creatures up in there, man. There's new water moccasins and black widows and alligators and crocodiles in there right now, man, and all kind of sludge. You know, he got new creatures up in there, but the same swamp. Speaking of pestilence, here we go. America's farm recession is here. I mean, not pestilence, excuse me, famine. One early response is sending billions to the farmers. So part of that spending bill was to help the farmers, because the farming industry and the agriculture industry was struggling. This is still part of the plan, because that's why you see Bill Gates buying up all that farmland, because he wants to expand the GMO crops. He wants to expand all of his experimental lab-grown industry, turning poop water in, poop into water, sewage water into water. You know, they're trying to create a scenario where they push out the agricultural industry, and they can bring in the technological quote unquote advancements with food, so to replace the real with the fake. So they was trying to squeeze out the farmers, and they say they still got it on deck, because once the chump signs that immigration bill, remember we read the report a couple of weeks ago. They said over half of the workers in the on the farms and all of that is migrants. You get rid of all of them, who's going to take them jobs? You know damn well the Negro's not going back in the fields. That's out. White man ain't getting his nails dirty. Who's going in there? Elon, he's too busy in the tech. They need him on the computers. China, they ain't doing it. The African, come on. Who's going to do it, man? That's when, you know, Bill Gates and rest them pop in and say, don't worry, we've got AI farms, we got this, that, and the third. We don't need them no more. But look at this. In northeastern North Dakota, Greg Adamson's 3,000-acre farm this year produced corn, soybeans, canola, and rye. Now, these are major components for products of food, oils, all that other stuff that is used in consumption of American groceries. It says he also produced thousands of dollars in losses. A bag of corn seed cost Adamson roughly $150 a few years ago. Now he has a hard time finding one for less than $230. So look at the inflation. He's paying $80 more for seed corn, and he got 3,000 acres. You know how much money that's got to, lock in on him? And then he's got to get the seeds probably from damn governmental source where they give them the GMO seeds. I think they said maybe like 95 to 98% of corn now is GMO. Don't listen to organic. That don't mean nothing. That just means that they use some, could have used some organic soil and all that. And they label it and make it seem like, oh, it's all natural. No, all natural, organic, not the same. You still can find non-GMO corn and all that, but you gotta search it out. But they just go to show you, man, they're monopolizing everything. It says earlier this year it took 3 weeks to fix a mechanical problem on his combine that broke down during harvest, resulting in a 4-figure repair bill. Everything's so expensive, it's killing us. The ag industry is continuing to get weaker, says Damon Audia, Chief Financial Officer for farm and equipment maker AGCO. He said in a December investor meeting, those challenges are expected to continue next year. Some of the world's largest grain shippers and pesticide suppliers are girding for a shrinking farm economy by cutting costs or laying off workers. Per acre losses for corn growers are expected to be steeper in 2025 than the prior 2 years, according to the National Corn Growers Association, a trade group. So these are the beginnings of where we're seeing famine come into play. And it may not be just because there's not food, but the food is going to be so expensive, you may not be able to afford it. We may not be able to afford it. Because guess what? These farmers they're coming out the pocket more. They're laying off workers. They're trying to survive. And guess what? They're going to have to double back and charge more for the labor that they put in to put some food on in the grocery stores. Then we ain't even talking about these tariffs, taxing all the stuff that are being used. We looked at the charts last week about $400 some odd billion worth of goods is coming from Canada and Mexico alone. We ain't talking about the rest of the world. He's talking about 100% tariffs on anybody affiliated with the BRICS. So you're talking taxes on stuff coming in. You don't think we're going to have to pay that on the back end? Remember, he come in lying, talking about, the wall is going to be built by Mexico. Mexico's going to pay for it. They ain't paying for that crap. And taxes pay for it. Just like he's talking about now, the tariffs, don't worry about it. You're going to benefit. Yeah, right. So you see how things is trickling down. Yeah, facts, McQuarrie. Facts. Me and my rib, but just talking about trying to start up something, a small little thing at the house, man. Just trying to get it together. It's wicked out here. Wicked. Let's move on. Now they're back kissing the ring. George Stephanopoulos of ABC apologized to Agent Orange and are forced to pay him $15 million to settle a defamation suit. And this is all over him, jumping out saying that he raped a woman and some more stuff that wasn't completely accurate. But this dude coming out winning, man. Remember last week they had him on Time Magazine, Man of the Year. I mean, what happened to the convicted felon? What happened to all the other? He's a misogynist. He's took advantage of women. Huh? What happened to all that? Man of the Year, huh? Now they're doubling back, paying him out. The media companies, man, who took part in slandering and riding on him and the anti-Trump wave, they are shaking in their boots, man. MSN, that network, they're damn near about to go out of business. Their viewership and shares is down and everything else, man. Everybody's kissing his a double dollar sign because they know he's getting ready to go on a tirade of revenge. And they all out here trying to make amends. It's disgusting. We know there was a school shooting earlier in the week by a female, no doubt. 15-year-old Edomite. Surprised? I'm not. You know, being that it was Edomite, we know they're usually the ones carrying these things out. School shooting leaves 3 dead, 7 wounded as a gunman opens fire in a private Christian academy. They're saying that the little 15-year-old has some ties and interest in neo-Nazi information and posts that, you know, they tracking down her internet activity. They seen, you know, some of the things she's been entertaining. So was this something instigated by her thoughts? You know, she proclaimed herself to be a loner. She had an accomplice out here in California that they just busted. He was supposed to carry out something similar. They caught him. So we're seeing them even trying to drum up the makings of a race war, civil war. You know, of course, there's always something to go down before a presidential election or after the election, something to reel in the gun violence. Oh, we gotta take the guns away. You know, it's always a school shooting, concert, church. You dig what I'm saying? But they're saying the little 15-year-old man, she may have some ties to some neo-Nazi. And she had an accomplice out here in California who's about to get busy too, but they caught him. So be prepared. There's probably some more coming down the pipeline. Hey, look, if they don't try to snipe out Agent Orange twice, don't think any civilian walking around here is safe. They got some plans, as we've been talking about. Let's move on. Canada, Justin Trudeau, quote, is on the brink of resigning as his liberal government crumbles. So not only have we seen headlines about France and European governments on the brink of collapse and they in trouble and financially there's all kind of issues. People in Canada haven't been happy with Justin Trudeau for a while now. How he's handled these threats for tariffs coming from the chump. They ain't like that. He ran down there to Mar-a-Lago and kissed the ring. People wasn't feeling that, so they're looking at getting rid of him. You see all this instability in governments all throughout the world, man. You know, Esau is over here scrambling to get a sense of order in his kingdom right now, and they want everybody on one accord with the beast. Those who's not, man, they're gonna take them out through war or economic collapse to fight for this bigger picture. So his liberal government is on the way out. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is on the brink of resigning as his liberal government crumbles around him. Trudeau, 52, is considering his options as leader, sources have told the broadcaster, while his finance minister, Chrystia Freeland, revealed she will quit. Freeland quit on Monday after clashing with Trudeau on issues including how to handle possible U.S. tariffs, dealing a huge blow to an already unpopular government. And if you remember, the governor of or I think he's a governor. I don't know what his position is. Don't quote me. But the head of Ontario, Canada, he said he's going to cut off the oil and the power supplies that are getting shipped to America if they get hit with tariffs. Now, the other provinces, you know, I don't know whether it could be Edmonton, Alberta, Toronto, that, you know, and some of the other ones, they like, I don't think we're not going that far. We got to figure out what we're going to do. But the cat from Ontario, he was like, man, we cutting their asses off. If they get us with tariffs, cut off the power, you know. And who knows, you know, Trudeau might have been siding with the rest of them, and he's saying they like, we're not feeling that. So Canada's in trouble. That's what we just talked about. The finance minister, she quit, so that, you know, they're dealing with issues up there. Any surprise here? Any surprise here? Slow Biden lied about everything. Philly Fed. Remember, he said he's the most popular president ever. Racked up the most votes, man. Nobody's done more for Americans than him. He leads with a squeaky clean record, you know. Now all the reports is coming out that they were been hiding his ineptness to lead as president. He had a circle that was, you know, calling the shots, really leading the government. He was a puppet, in other words. Remember they were talking about he's fit as a fiddle, and they, you know, mentally sharp, never better than ever. And meanwhile, he come out slobbering at the mouth, man, sitting down where there's no chair, falling on stage, on bikes, falling upstairs, stumbling and fumbling, can barely walk on the beach. I mean, now they're finally coming out. I didn't pull the articles, but I'm sure y'all can find them and show that all the inner circle has been talking about how they've been hiding how bad a condition Slow Biden is in. Now we're hearing about more lies. Remember back in the summer they were talking about all the second quarter jobs, 800, what was it? 818,000 jobs or something was fake. Now the Philly Fed finds all the jobs created in the second quarter were fake. Bidenomics, everybody's working. Lies. Again, the so-called white man at his finest. Look at this. Back in August, many were surprised by the accuracy of our forecast when we predicted that in its annual revision, the Biden Bureau of Labor Statistics would revise jobs for April of 2023 to March of 2024, period, by up to 1 million. Something which we said would mean that all job report beats record in the past year will have been misses, and the U.S. labor market is in far worse shape than the administration would admit. So, yeah, the things wasn't adding up. They talking about they creating 300,000 jobs this month, 200,000 this month. Oh, we had a dip, 117,000 jobs. All lies. Meanwhile, we're hearing about layoffs, jobs closing, businesses shutting down. It's like, where are all these jobs at? All we keep hearing about is the economy collapsing, commercial real estate down, housing markets down, all these businesses shutting down, layoffs by the thousands. And they're talking about what? Everybody's working. Everybody got money in the pocket. Huh? People are punching in and out the clock as we speak. Not going down. Okay. On Wednesday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will downward revise jobs for the April 2023 to March 2024 period by up to 1 million. This means that all beats recorded. Well, I just read that. Shalakia. Here it goes. The final results, as everyone knows by now, was a shocking 818,000 revision lower, just as the Philadelphia Fed had predicted 6 months prior. So they're finally coming out saying we've been lying. They've been lying. All right. Now, topic of the drones. We talked about it earlier, right? Now, this guy could be part of the sun. Let's get that first. This is what I'm on. This is what I believe. First off, man, people is, we jump off the bridge. As believers in this truth, man, we read about chariots, we see about fire in the day, cloud by night, and everything else going on in the scriptures dealing with the chariots of the Most High, which we all believe and faithfully should understand and know that's going to be part of our deliverance, part of the judgment that's going to befall America, right? That's all real. But everything we see up in the sky, y'all, is not a damn chariot. That's what makes, when we jump out the window and say, oh, look, it's a chariot. That's what makes us look more discredited when it can be answered. Say, man, that's a drone. Now you tripping. See that crazy ass stuff you've been listening to in that Bible, man, got you twisted. You don't know what you're talking about. That's when we become more discredited. And the white man knows this, and this is why he throws all of these terms, the unidentified aerial phenomenon, or is it a UFO, unidentified flying object? He's throwing out all these acronyms, and you get confused on what's what. Then he's throwing up all these drones. He's remaking, all of the, I remember years ago, man, when the internet first popped off, it was on YouTube, and there was a video of quote unquote spaceships. They were flying, and it looked like Florida. It could have been a Caribbean island or something like that. And we was tripping. I mean, this was like 05, 06. I don't recall. It was around that time. And I remember, brothers, we were looking at it all on the internet, and this is early internet. We ain't seen nothing like this before. We tripped. Oh, shit, look at the check. Come to find out, like a year or two later, that was like some secret filming for a movie. But at the time, it was like, oh, snap. Look, the chariots. No. But the white man knows. Remember, he's got a God complex. Remember, he said in Isaiah 14, I'm going to be like the Most High. So even when it comes down to creating flying objects in the air, he wants to be like the Most High. He wants to emulate anything like the Most High. The Most High says his eyes as bright as 10 times brighter than the sun. Oh, I can do that too. I can have eyes everywhere as well. Let me go and set up Alexa and Siri in everybody's homes, and cameras everywhere, microphones here, dishwashers listening to you, refrigerators clocking your every movement. You're on the internet, getting tracked by the cookies and everything else, watching and pre-predictive, ads on your computer because they monitoring your algorithm. He thinks he knows it all the way down to I can create flying objects in the air too. I can have you, constantly gazing up in the skyward, wondering what's that? Remember, even in Acts 1, and look at this. Acts 1, and see, I want to get to it. Yahweh reappearing on the earth, right? And we're going to see what ends up happening when he descends and gives the Holy Spirit to the apostles and the disciples to give them the power of healing and everything else. Remember, he said after he departs, the Holy Spirit is going to descend upon them. All right, so watch this. Verse 7, it says, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times nor the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. For ye shall receive power after the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. So once they receive the Holy Spirit, they go out and to witness, to teach repentance throughout the four corners of the earth, to bring Israel back unto the fold of repentance, righteousness, so that we can get the kingdom back. Right? Verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So similar to Scotty beam me up, a cloud. Remember the scriptures say that the Most High makes the clouds as his chariot. Outside he gets taken up in the cloud. Okay. They watching witnesses. It says, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahweh, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So as he went up into heaven in a chariot, he's going to return in the chariot. Matthew 24 tells us when he comes back, all eyes is going to witness and see, trumpet's going to be blown, the whole nine. All the nations is going to be subject to it. Right now, everybody's seeing in New Jersey, and let's keep things in perspective. We know that there's chariot sightings. I've seen them, real ones, not drones. Some of y'all have seen them. So the spectacle that the so-called white man has put out there with these drones, and they got everybody scratching their head, and they go and throw out and unleash the social media hordes of theories where people get caught up. Even our people in the truth, what is it? Chariots is out there. Don't listen to them. They lying. Come on, y'all. Everything ain't a damn chariot. Verse 11, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up to heaven? So the Lord said, these angels told the man, but why are you sitting up there constantly gazing up in heaven and constantly amazed and astonished and tripping? You don't know if it's the real deal or not. All right. And so Yahweh Shah said he's going to return the same way. All right. So sometimes our people get caught up constantly looking up, and remember that movie, Don't Look Up? You know, they doing these things. So, Salaki, let me go back over into the PSYOP. So a PSYOP. This is what I believe that, you know, much of what's going on is what's happening. PSYOP, short for psychological operations, refers to military operations aimed at influencing the emotions. You know, this is why they have what they call, quote unquote, influencers, social media influencers, everything, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. A lot of these things is, you know, people are utilizing to make their incomes, to entertain, to have fun, all that. Cool. Some are actually being utilized as tools. Remember, Slow Biden has a TikTok army. You know, some of these are paid agents, man, that's out here being utilized to do what? Influence the emotions and behaviors of targeted individuals, organizations, or governments through non-combative means. Ain't nobody going to war. You know, you see some image of man cat shooting at them and all that other. Look, so this is all part of non-combative means that they're going to utilize this. Just look up in the sky. Look. These operations can include the use of media, leaflets, and other communication methods to achieve strategic objectives. So there's an objective behind it. Now, whether or not this is true, I don't know. Could this guy be part of the PSYOP? Absolutely. It's an Edomite named John Ferguson. He says he's a military contractor. He works with drones. He knows how the government works, so forth. So, you know, even Agent Orange chimed in. They said, "You want to speak about the drones?" He laughed. He said, the government knows what they are. The government knows what they're doing. Why they're not telling the people, I don't know, but they know what's going on. Now, this guy says that there's a missing nuke that came from Ukraine. And what's interesting is, you know, the threat is it could be used as a dirty bomb. It could be, you know, somehow triggered. And me and the brothers were just talking about, in particular, I know Al-Adai, he was talking about a dirty bomb last weekend. And I think it was even before, you know, we heard about this. But nonetheless, this is what they're saying. You know, this is his theory, that there's a missing nuke. They're utilizing these drones to try to find them before something goes down. And it's on the East Coast. Now, it's possible he's onto something, because they have said that radiation is spiking in New York right now. I don't know. Is he part of the whole thing? Because all of a sudden now this guy is viral. He went viral on TikTok, giving his 2 cents about what it is. He's been getting interviewed by people. You know, sometimes you see cats, man, come out of nowhere, and he's got a particular expertise that he can speak like he's knows what he's talking about. But meanwhile, he's part of the PSYOP. I don't know, but it's possible that this is what's going on. So it says UAV specialist John Ferguson says he knows of at least one, quote, lost nuke that could have been smuggled into the United States. So it said the founder of the company that supplies cutting-edge unmanned aircraft to the U.S. military has offered a chilling explanation to the wave of drone sightings sweeping America. And because he's viral, I'm sure many of y'all seen this, right? He says Ferguson is a military veteran with over 25 years of experience in drone technology, who now runs Kansas-based drone specialist Saxon Unmanned. He also believes that the people of New Jersey and elsewhere have been seeing is the search for a rogue nuclear warhead that has been smuggled into the United States. The only reason why you would ever fly an unmanned aircraft at night is you're looking for something, he said. And that's something he theorizes is a lost nuclear warhead that is hidden somewhere on the U.S. East Coast. Remember, this is just his theory. But people running with it saying, this is it. It's over there. We got it. We don't know. We don't know. John continued, back in the 80s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program. There were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. So this is a theory that there's a lost nuke, somehow got smuggled into the Americas. It's hidden over there on the East Coast. They got word about it. They're using the drones to try to find it. before it detonates or radiation is unleashed and tears up the East Coast. That's a theory. Believe it if you want to. Mystery drones could be trying to find radioactive material. Aerospace CEO saying so. Now you got a CEO out of aerospace. He's backing. This. See, this is this a psyop or is it real? We don't know. Look, New York radiation levels spike amid drone sightings. Americans are told, quote, prepare for the worst. An expert on U.S.-Chinese relations has warned that the hundreds of drones buzzing New Jersey homes and military bases could be the precursor to a grim attack. Is this a psyop? I mean, is this really going on? Do they have a chemical or a dirty bomb that China, Iran, somebody, Russia, ready to unleash? We don't know. Don't know. These are theories, but the fact that New York radiation levels are spiking now out of nowhere after we're hearing about all of these drones, my theory is, we won't be talking about the drones in another week or so. Nothing's going to be found, and business will go back to usual. But was this a psyop to distract and control emotions and get people thinking and moving and tripping on different things because something greater is coming up next month? Probably so. I mean, they still got black swans lined up to incite some disorder in this place. But we don't know. I'm not gonna go on record saying, yeah, that's it. We figured it out. I don't know, but this is what the facts say. My thing is, ye men and women of Galilee, why are you looking up in the sky tripping, looking at drones, thinking that they chariots? Like, relax. That ain't what it is. And what exactly are they doing? What's Esau looking for? Is this just a military psyop? Very possible. Is it really? Are they looking for a dirty bomb? It could be. That's a theory that one white man that came out claiming he's an expert in the field of drones, and you listen to his storyline. One thing for sure, two things for certain. America is said to be on flames, and Jeremiah 50 and others say that this place is going to get hit with arrows, not buried and detonated. Could that be something that explosion from it and creates a fire? Maybe so. But let's stay on our P's and Q's, man, and don't get caught in the narratives that get put out there. All right, let's move on. Teamsters begin the largest strike against Amazon, accusing the company of insatiable greed. I mean, tell us something we don't know. But those are working for Amazon, they're going on strike to ruin Christmas. I guess the Amazon workers are the Grinches that stole Christmas. But that could impact, people's deliveries and the people that use Amazon, the Amazonians. That might cause a problem. But for those of us who aren't involved in Christmas, who can give a damn about all of that, it ain't gonna affect us. You might be trying to get you a little deal on something, but who knows? There's always going to be somebody behind saying, "I need a job." In the state of the economy right now, people getting laid off, people doing Uber Eats, Amazon, self-contracting drivers, and all that. This ain't gonna stop that beast. People, had strikes before with Amazon. And business continues on as usual. They got the damn AI bots and robots already working in the warehouses in the factories to pick up the slack when human labor decides that they ain't trying to get down. Delivery drivers, I guarantee you, they're gonna find some people saying, "Look, I'll take the job. Shit, I ain't worked in the last 3 months. You telling me all I gotta do is drive around and drop off packages, and you're gonna pay me a little bit more than what they was making until." It's like temporary work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure they're probably gonna have some people to come back. This ain't gonna cripple Amazon. Let's believe that. But people are looking for solutions, man. People is hurting out there. And they're looking at the insatiable greed of these big corporations and companies. This is why they're parading around Luigi. The guy that killed the CEO of United Healthcare. Parading him around every minute you get. He's another damn distraction. I mean, since when have we seen so much concentrated effort on one particular murder for weeks on end? I mean, you can't get them to give any particular coverage to a little girl that they got shot, a little black girl get shot, brother get killed, sister get killed. Like, ain't nobody paying that much attention to our lives like that. One damn white CEO gets put to death, man. They made it worldwide and countrywide news. They following around the alleged killer and glamorizing him. And I just seen an article earlier, man. They were talking about his women already. He got groupies mailing him, love letters and all kind of. I mean, come on, man. He's getting paraded around as a hero. The little guy fighting back against, David against Goliath. Now here you go. The Amazon Teamsters, they're trying to rally against big old bad Jeff Bezos and the Amazon. Man, Jeff Bezos ain't losing an ounce of sleep at all. Like I said, the Teamsters said the strike will begin early Thursday at several facilities, including New York City, Atlanta, 3 locations in Southern California, 1 in San Francisco, and 1 in Skokie, Illinois. There's an Amazon center about 5 minutes from me. I ain't seen nobody outside striking, unless they just ain't showing up to work. But maybe that's what it is. Maybe they ain't showing up to work. But I still have seen some Amazon trucks over here delivering. So when people's hurting, man, need that money, man. If you ain't backed by this, I guess they got a particular union that some of them is gonna be protected, and that union dude's gonna keep them supported. But there's other people, man, that's gonna take them damn jobs, because they need the money. Striking don't work. Here we see the Dow futures, 10 straight loss. They were talking about how bad the stock market has been like this in years. Like I said, the honeymoon is over, man. You thinking Agent Orange or Santa Claus coming down with a bag full of money and dropping it off to everybody? That's over with. People are losing money now, running and trying to get out the markets and trying to sell their crypto or bury their crypto somewhere. Like, yeah, the euphoria of change and making America fake again. That's over with for now. They're gonna manipulate the market. They're gonna prop some stuff up again. They're gonna go through up and down, highs and lows. But as of right now, that honeymoon is over with. Look at this. Governor Newsom declares emergency in California after the CDC confirms a severe case of bird flu in Louisiana. Why is he doing a state of emergency in California for something that's happening in Louisiana? And it's one case. He's already ready to go back to 4 years ago. Governor Newsom declared a state of emergency Wednesday as the H5N1 bird flu virus moved from the Central Valley to Southern California dairy herds, while federal officials confirmed the first case of severe illness in a hospitalized Louisiana patient, a concerning development as the virus continues to spread throughout the nation via migrating birds. Oh yeah, they got to fly south for the winter. Be careful. It's in the dairy herds. It's in the milk. It's in the cheese meat. You're going to get it. And guess what? Even though you haven't gotten it, we're going to declare a state of emergency. So you know what that means. You know what comes along with that eventually. Unbelievable. He's already ready for. I mean, California is getting. I hate to sound like a broken record, man, but this place is becoming more unlivable as the days go on, man. So he's already pushing the panic button. Like I said, for the past 3 weeks and some change, we've been talking about the plans to unleash and let something loose and create another hysteria. They're not going to let Agent Orange go in with rose petals down the aisle of the White House and potpourri in the White House office and welcome him open arms. They're gonna give him hell. Just like when he got up out of there, they hit him with the C-19 plague on his way out, and then blamed him for everything that happened. It's the same thing, man. You went out with something, they gonna bring you in with something. Arizona too hot out. but you definitely it's just too hot out there. But I'm with you though. I got let me leave it alone. I don't want to disclose nothing, but this place is becoming unlivable. I'm telling you. Moving on. Oh, here we go. Doctors sound the alarm about a superbug that causes violent diarrhea and it's spreading across the U.S. Here's another one. Researchers of University of California, Los Angeles, that's UCLA, identified 3 cases of Shigella in the city, a bacterial infection that causes explosive and bloody diarrhea as well as severe stomach pain. Good Lord. I mean, the stuff that this cat got bubbling up now, I pray none of us got to go through this. Or what he got down the pipeline, man, from disease X to Ebola to up. I mean, it's some serious plagues, man. Can you imagine explosive and you blowing out bloody diarrhea? Now, what's interesting about this though is you can wipe your forehead and your brow because this is attacking the sodomites. Look, all 3 men were infected within a 3-month window between 2023 and 2024 and are believed to have caught the disease via sex. See why the Lord said in Leviticus 20:13, 18:22, hey, look, if a man lie with a man like he should be with a woman, both of them committed an abomination. I mean, there's something, it looks exit only. And all of that, oh, we can do what we want to do. We should love who we want to. Yeah, go ahead. Most High gonna hit your ass with all kind of damn plagues, man. Get hit with this Shigella. Because you're gonna love with the Hershey Highway. And then you wonder why you're bloody diarrhea and all of that. The researcher said that while all of the men had a similar strain of Shigella, it was distinct from the past XDR strains found in other parts of the world, so it's mutated. This suggests it had been spreading in the area for some time, and they warned of the possibility of an outbreak that could spread to other areas. The researchers wrote the discovery of a novel XDR-S Sony actively spreading in Los Angeles is alarming. Sodomites beware. Look, though these cases were limited to Los Angeles, similar outbreaks have been seen in major cities like San Jose and Portland among gay men and homeless. Attack on the sodomites, man. Disgusting. Here's the bird flu case over there in Louisiana. Something's happening in Louisiana. Birds in the backyard flocks have been dropping dead. Now a patient is in critical condition. A Louisiana resident has become what the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention is calling patient 1. They put a number on it. He's number 1. I'm sure they're looking for 2, 3, 4, and anybody else. For a severe case of avian flu in the United States. He's been hospitalized with a critical condition. Dropping down, it says, quote, severe respiratory illness in Louisiana patient shows increased health risk for people from the virus that previously caused eye redness or conjunctivitis in infected dairy workers. Birds are dropping dead. Bird flu's jumping off. That could be the catalyst that they utilize to say, hey, we need to lock this down, man. Anybody that's around dairy, milk, cheese, birds, anything. You've seen a bird die in front of you. You've seen the bird on the sidewalk. You walk by it, you might have it. You need to quarantine. Who knows what these maniacs are gonna do? But you already see California governor, he's laying down the gauntlet of state of emergency for something that happened in Louisiana to one person. I mean, what kind of motivational folly is he up to? You call an emergency for one person in Louisiana, thousands of miles away from California, because you're saying, oh, well, we got dairy farmers here that, we've had a couple of cases. Come on, man. Something else is going on. Oh, calm down. Hold on. Watch this. How measles, whooping cough, and worse could roar back under RFK Jr.'s watch. So they already got a fall guy. Remember, RFK Jr., he's the head of public health and all of that. He's dethroning the transformer that's sitting up in there right now. And they don't like him up in there because he's spoken out against the jabs and, medical tyranny jumping off and everything else. So he's not a friendly participant in big pharma and all of that. So now they're saying, well, guess what? Measles, whooping cough, and even more is going to roar back and get to touching everybody. And you can blame him because he's telling you, don't get poked in your arm, question everything and all that other stuff. So they already got it lined up. You seen, remember, Hotez jumped out and said, everything's coming at you. Everything's coming. And put a date on it. What is dumb at? January 21st. Everything's coming out the woodworks. Now they're talking about, blame it on RFK Jr. Because, he don't want to play with us. Look at the availability of safe, effective, jabs less than a year into the pandemic marked a high point in the 300-year history of getting poked in the arm, seemingly heralding an age of protection against infectious diseases. Now, after backlash against public health interventions culminated in President-elect Donald Trump's nominating Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the country's best-known anti-pokes activist, as its top health expert. Remember, he said he's not anti-poke. He's been poked up. He's up to date with his jabs. He was questioning the one that involved the plague the last 4 years, 2019 on. He's questioning that one. But they laid on a cold blanket on him and said, no, he's against all of them. And he's on record saying, no, I'm not. I'm not anti this. I've gotten poked. Me and my family, everybody. But this one right here, something's wrong with that one. But see how they flip it? Now, me, mine, and many within the Israelite community, we're the anti-V all the way. But they're going to paint them that way, right? Continuing on. Experts in jab advocates say a confluence of factors could cause renewed deadly epidemics of measles, whooping cough, meningitis, or even polio. Litany of things that will start to topple is profound. You hear that? Said James Hodge, a public health law expert at Arizona State. He said the litany of things that will start to topple. You say, man, so many things is going to come down the pipeline and make your head spin. It's profound what we got coming down. These dudes is wicked as hell, man. Make sure you taking every preventative measure for your health to maintain a strong immune system that you can, from black seed oil to oil of oregano to echinacea to elderberry to ester seed. I mean, you name it, man. Vitamin D, A. Keep your stuff up to par, man. Golden seal. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got to have your strength of immune system up, because when it comes, or whatever it may be, Lord willing, our immune system is back, strong enough to fight it off or not even be touched by it. Our thing is, the faith says we ain't gonna be touched by it, But they getting ready to roll out the gauntlet. Look at this. Tri-state hospitals urge patient staff to mask up amid a spike of the vid and the flu and RSV. So they're already in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Philly. It's already being said, hey, mask up again. California, they already got, the mandate is already on. In hospitals, you got to mask up. I've been 2 times in the last month, and they like, yeah, you got to put it on. Flashbacks. And because the Trump pop, I mean, because Governor Newsom popped out saying state of emergency, who knows what else that is coming along with that? Look at this, man. If this ain't calling good evil and evil good, this broad got a $20 million book deal for laughing and goofing out, laughing for the 4 years of her vice presidency, for getting mopped up in the presidential election. And she got a $20 million book deal out there. How does that work? And it's saying she might sign a deal with Netflix. She's getting rewarded for her failures, man. You can't make this up, boy. Kamala lands a $20 million book deal, and people have questions. Yeah, I bet. All-time worst presidential loser, Kamala Harris is set to make $20 million from a book deal and may sign an exclusive contract with Netflix. The book is set to recount her side of the story regarding what went down in the White House when Harris replaced Biden as the nominee. The Daily Mail notes that the source told them, quote, virtually the moment Kamala lost to Trump, the offers began pouring in from the publishing world for her to do the definitive book on what really went down between Joe and Kamala. Oh, they want some tea. They want some tea between her and Slow Biden. $20 million worth. Imagine that, man. Pay me for failures. Give me that. Good Lord. Now here we go. We talked about this earlier, man, regarding males, having all kind of health issues. Remember when the scripture said we were going to live our long life, but we're seeing everything, jumping off regarding shorter lifespans. Sperm count has declined almost 50% in men across the globe in recent decades. You know who, BG, put the first name and the last name together, and the rest of his constituents who love depopulation agendas, they're smiling and licking their lips and rubbing their hands together saying, yes, it's working. Yes, it's working. Sperm counts declined 50%. Remember, I've been talking about it for years on end, man. They've got sterilants in the water, it's in the food, it's in all kind of stuff, man. Cutting off the seed. Remember, that's part of Psalms 83. That they want to cut off the seed of Israel. Imagine if humanity's future were slipping through our fingers. Literally, for decades, the world has been fixated on the threats we can see: climate change, pandemics, economic upheaval. Yet quietly, an invisible crisis has been brewing inside our bodies. Sperm counts in men have plummeted by nearly 50% worldwide in just a few decades. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right now. Yeah. In the book Eco Science, I've shared some pages out of that. They talk about how they want to depopulate and the methods that they're going to use, some of which I just said. So there you have it, man. The agenda is clear. Germany, Merry Christmas, huh? German Christmas market attack. Death toll rises to 4. Dr. 50 held after a car smashed through a crowd as an ex-Muslim who fled Saudi Arabia in 2006. I mean, couldn't be even more confusing. This dude is an ex-Muslim, escaped Saudi Arabia to go live like the white man over there in Germany. And then when he gets over to Germany, he's realizing that Germany ain't got no problem with Islam, and he's letting them do whatever they're doing. You dig what I'm saying? And now he's saying, oh, they're Islamic sympathizers. I got to kill everybody. This is a doctor, no less. Man of education, man. Took his BMW, start plowing people down. I mean, now this is a mass casualty event. Should we ban BMWs now? Like they love to talk about banning guns? I mean, fortunately, this happened over in Germany. I don't know, what their stipulations is with gun laws over there. But, if this was America, they wouldn't be talking about banning BMWs because it can be used as a weapon. I mean, come on. The death toll of the deadly Christmas market massacre carried out by an anti-Islam doctor who arrived in Germany in 2006 as a refugee from Saudi Arabia has now risen to 4, according to local reports. I mean, did he get word that there were Muslims celebrating Christmas. Is that why he rolled down there? I mean, this stuff is wild, man. So this is even more recent, and this ain't the only time. They've had. Remember the brother a few years ago? I think he was in Wisconsin as well. Mowed down some people at a was it Christmas or Thanksgiving parade? I mean, this is why the Lord said, man, thank the Most High that you've been pulled out of them pagan customs. You were not involving yourself in things, because when the Most High gets to wiping people out, you can say, yeah, I'm glad I stopped keeping that, because there will be no reason for me to go to these things and these events and get victimized, because I don't do that, you know. But yeah, terror. They're not calling it a terrorist attack because he's an ex-Muslim, but he's blaming Germany, saying Germany is an Islamic sympathizer. So he gotta wheel out the car and mow some people down. Unbelievable. So the world is going to hell in a handbasket, man. Faster and faster. You dig what I'm saying? And that's all that we have to concentrate on. We go back to the beginning of the lesson. Stay encouraged, stay faithful, stay on the right hand side of the Lord. We ain't got to worry about all of these things that's going on, but we have to be aware. All right. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, IQAhmath, man. We're gonna have our closing Sabbath class in about another hour and a half. I know y'all just got a whole head full right now, but the Spirit moves you. You want to continue on in your Sabbath and continue learning with us. Tune in about an hour and a half. All right, and we're gonna continue on teaching the sheep and being there for our people. Right, brother got a whole rundown, of things. Yeah. Oh yeah, cranberry, garlic. You're right. No lies detected. No lies detected. Some may have some issue with the sea moss. I don't necessarily. I've seen some research about how the sea moss does have a seed and can germinate, populate, but that's a whole nother thing. But all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, man. Prayerfully, y'all continue on having a blessed Shabbat. And always remember, man, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot the messenger. See y'all later. Shalom.